at this point. There's a lot, for years there's been a lot of talk about adoption, but there's not much adoption yet. We're still very early, and even like the big blockchain names we all know, they're also looking for use cases, because the party just started, and like the big use cases on blockchain are yet to be discovered. We're that early.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Pay Now Buy Later. Today we have Mark on the show, who was the head of brand and marketing for Zilliqa. He is also an active contributor in the Zilliqa community, which earns him the title of the Guardian of Zilliqa. Mark was instrumental in bringing awareness to the value proposition of Zilliqa to the wider community throughout the whole of last year. In this episode, we cover the basic introduction to Zilliqa and the importance of sharding, how Zilliqa is approaching the NFT hype, Zilliqa 2018 versus now, the Polynetwork ETH bridge and Zilswap, the future of Zilliqa and the importance of gZil and ZWAP coins. If you're already familiar about Zilliqa, you can skip this part, but I would like to give a brief intro on Zilliqa to someone who's new to the project. So Zilliqa is a third-gen cryptocurrency that aims to solve the scalability issues of blockchain by enabling fully functioning sharding in a linear manner as the network grows in size. The network is capable of processing over 2,800 transactions, surpassing that of Ethereum and Bitcoin. The perfect analogy for this is divide and conquer. The network is divided into groups called shards, where each shard runs its own consensus protocol. Zilliqa also has its own smart contract language called Silica. Before we dive into the tokenomics of Zilliqa, it is also worth mentioning that Zilliqa is headed by Dr. Anmit Kumar, and the team comprises of other accomplished PhDs in computer science. So currently ZIL is at a market cap of 2.2 billion and a fully diluted market cap of 4.2 billion. The circulating supply of ZIL is at 53% with a max supply of 21 billion coins. You can also stake ZIL on Moonlet, Atomic Wallet and Zillion. They are currently paying over 14% APY, and you can also earn the gZil governance token, which allows you to have a voice in the community and participate in voting. Zilliqa is continuously working on numerous ways to keep innovating through adding privacy features, cross-chain solutions and Zilswap. Now let's get on with the show. Hi Mark, welcome to the show Pay Now Buy Later. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ash, for having me. Very
Awesome.
pleased to meet you.
Likewise. So let's get started with the show. So you were the head of marketing for Zilliqa. How did you get into the crypto space? And as we were talking before, you said you came from a corporate background. So how did you manage to break into the crypto space, and how have you found it so far?
Joined Zilliqa in June 2019 as their head of brand and marketing, which was kind of a new position. But I was involved with Zilliqa before. I've been part of the Zilliqa community since the summer of 2018, and before that, I basically didn't know what a blockchain was. I was completely new to to blockchain, but I was really keen to learn. And like most people, I got interested in crypto and blockchain because of the 2017 bull run, and some of my friends got very lucky back then, and I thought, oh, this could be something. So initially it was like the investing part that interested me, but when I started reading up on blockchain and a Bitcoin, I thought, well, it doesn't look like this space is finished yet, and I saw that there were quite a few hurdles to be taken, and I basically started researching, and that's when I stumbled upon Zilliqa, and well, after doing my research, I thought, ooh, this could be it.
This is where I'll be for the next decade.
Well, I mean, it's of course I didn't know that much about blockchain, but I saw the potential of Silica quite early, actually.
So how did you manage learning all these new terms, new codes in blockchain? How long did it take for you to get familiar with it?
So I was quite used to learning a lot in a relatively short time, because when you join a company as a contractor or as an interim professional, you have to be able to learn quickly. So that was well, actually what I did when I joined the blockchain space, but also what I did when I joined Zilliqa, because obviously I don't have a tech background. So even when I was already on the job, I had to learn so much, and Zilliqa is not very well. It's quite complicated, the tech. So I had to dig deep into it, also because I felt the need to understand it, because one of the things I aimed to do for Zilliqa was translate this really difficult tech story into something that people would actually be able to understand, and I think that was actually the hardest part. If you're really interested in what blockchain can do, there's a lot of things that you need to learn. So in a way, like the last 3 years for me was some sort of, well, almost like a study.
Training grounds.
I'm still a student, by the way, because the space evolves at a very rapid pace, and so I'm still learning every day.
So let's give a brief introduction about Zilliqa to the audience and what problems it solves through sharding.
Zilliqa is the first public blockchain that was built on a sharded architecture. And sharding as a technique is not new. There are sharded there are database systems that make use of sharding, but until Zilliqa came to the scene, sharding in blockchain was never done before. So it's quite revolutionary, actually.
What's Zilliqa doing differently compared to other smart contract platforms such as Ethereum or Cardano, which most people are familiar with?
Yeah, well, if you look at the way the blockchain works, Zilliqa is quite different, because sharding is basically a method to speed up the blockchain. And let's say you have a class of 12 students, and they need to complete 10 tasks. What Silica, compared to other blockchains, is what Silica does is split the students up in groups, like and these groups of students can complete a task as a group, and when the group is finished, they get another task. And if you look at Bitcoin, for instance, you have 12 students, and they all need to complete this one task before they all can start at the next task. So that's not very efficient. And the way Zilliqa is organized in terms of the blockchain and the different shards that make this blockchain is well, it's new, and it works because the Zilliqa mainnet is live since end of January 2019, and then somewhere around June, I guess, yeah, June, the smart contract functionality got live. And actually, this is something that some of the well-known blockchains we know today haven't actually achieved yet. So that means we're still early. I mean, we're still ahead of the game, basically.
It's amazing. Like when I was just looking at the market cap of ZIL, it's only $2 billion to just above 2 billion, and I see so many other projects which haven't even delivered what they were meant to do, and their market cap is multiples that of Zilliqa.
Well, yeah, I mean that's also part of blockchain and crypto. There's if you manage to create like a really good hype around your project, you can basically attract a lot of investors without doing too much. And one of the things I liked very much about Zilliqa is that they have been like steadily working all throughout the bear market, and at the right time they were ready. And
what's the future and potential of NFTs and what Zilliqa is hoping to achieve through that?
I know that they are taking this NFT thing very seriously, and of course there's Mintable, which is a marketplace that runs on Zilliqa and Ethereum. I know Zach personally because I kind of helped him a bit to launch Mintable 2.0. But yeah, I think looking at the NFT space right now, it's well, we're just beginning, and there's a lot of hype around NFTs. And sometimes I feel that NFTs are the next ICOs because well, yeah. And well, some ideas will work, some projects will gain value massively, but a lot of them will fail as well, as we have seen with the 2017 ICO craziness.
Yeah, I know that's
Yeah.
a really good comparison because there's so much hype, and just like 2017, there were very valuable ICOs which have survived until now and have contributed massively to the
Yeah.
ecosystem, but majority of them just went into the dust.
Well, but that's what happens in the real world as well. I mean, starting a company is not that difficult, but building it into something big, that's what well, that doesn't happen overnight. And if you look at Zilliqa, it's I think it's incredible that how it looks today, considering the fact that in like only 3 years ago, there was, well, not 3 years, slightly more than 3 years ago, but there, when Zilliqa hit all-time high in May 2018, I mean, they hadn't even started yet. There was a white paper, and of course they were working, but come on, it's if you look at where Zilliqa is today, I mean, they are like light years ahead of what 2017 looked like.
Yeah.
Or 18 for that matter. Yeah.
One of the most important updates that's coming with Zilliqa is the Polynetwork bridge, which enables users for cross-chain transactions. So how is this important to users, and how will this aid the growth of Zilliqa?
I think bridges like that in general are very important because well, no blockchain is an island, and of course you can build like a very nice ecosystem, but ultimately blockchains need to work together, because well, the world is just like that. I mean, if like a company decides to use one blockchain, it shouldn't be the case that by choosing this blockchain, all other options are limited. I mean, that will never work. So I think it's interoperability is pretty much the next big step to take, and I'm really happy to see that a lot of blockchain companies are spearheading this idea and actually delivering on it as well.
And Zilswap TVL is already above, the last time I checked was already above 200 million, and is rising every day,
insane.
Which is quite amazing. So Uniswap market cap was 16 billion, and Zilliqa is 2 billion, and Zilswap is a separate entity, so it's still part of Zilliqa.
It's interesting that you mentioned it, because a lot of people still think that Zilliqa is some sort of company, which of course is. I mean, it is a company, But what it does is basically it created the Zilliqa blockchain, and it's improving the Zilliqa blockchain. But other than that, there's a huge ecosystem of parties and companies building on top of this blockchain. And Zilswap is a very good example of that. It's not owned by Silica. It's run by a different company, and there are many teams and building on Zilliqa right now. And yes, of course, if you compare the growth on Zilswap to what we've seen on Ethereum, or like a similar project on Ethereum, I mean, the future looks bright, right? I feel that of course, Zilliqa is not a cure for everything, and this space needs to evolve in years to come. But I do think that Zilliqa managed to tackle quite a few important problems within the blockchain space, and I can imagine that even like the most dedicated Ether fans will be happy to use a bridge, the bridge Zilliqa is building, because I mean the fees on Ethereum are insane, and I mean if you have a lot of ETH, there's no problem, but nobody wants to pay fees that high for simple transactions. It just doesn't make sense. Honestly, I do hope that Ethereum manages to get a grip on the situation, because it's a beautiful platform. I love the community, and it's not like you hear a lot of projects talk about like, okay, we're the next Ethereum killer, and that's just nonsense. I mean, I think we should all hope that Ethereum solves their problems, because it would benefit the blockchain space hugely, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly hope that Ethereum manages to pull it off. That would be like insane.
People invested in Zilliqa and the new investors of Zilliqa, how can they make the most of their Zilliqa? What can they do with Zilliqa, and how can they be part of the community?
Well, there are a lot of different people. There are a lot of different reasons to get involved with Zilliqa. A lot of different angles. I mean, as a developer, I would suggest to learn Zilla, the smart contract language that is exclusively made for Zil, because yeah, that's basically how you can learn how to build smart contracts on Zilliqa. So you can build on top of Zilliqa. You can. I mean, I'm not a tech guy, and I'm also building on Zil, and I will need, of course, like some tech guys from the community to work with me. But also, if you have good business ideas, you can always find people that are willing to help you. And actually, that is one of the things I really like about our community, is that everybody seems to help each other out, and that's yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah, that's very important for when the project is, it's not early. I mean, it's over 3 years, but it feels like more.
Oh man, it feels like an eternity.
Yeah, honestly.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say old project, but then I realized, oh no, it's only been 3 years. But in the crypto space, it's still old.
Yeah, I mean, like it's everything happens so fast, and like sometimes I see like a new project popping up, and then I'm like, how's it possible that I don't know of this project? And everybody else seems to know about it.
There's always some community in some Telegram group or Discord group that are experts about a project that launched 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So all the food in my pantry, there's a coin for that. There's sushi coin, vegetable, like carrot coin, anything.
Yeah, what's the thing with all the vegetables and burgers and it's Yeah, I mean, of course, you have to think of something, but
I know you're not part of Zilliqa anymore, but what are
Mhm.
some exciting things that you see Zilliqa doing, or what you would like Zilliqa to do going forward beyond 2021?
Well, one of the things I liked, which I liked about Zilliqa from the very start, is that it aims to be some sort of bridge between like the blockchain world and the real world, the real economy. Because if you look at the blockchain space at this point, there's a lot for years. There's been a lot of talk about adoption, but there's not much adoption yet. It's still, we're still very early, and even even like the big blockchain names we all know, they're also looking for use cases, because we just, I mean, the party just started, and like the big use cases on blockchain are yet to be discovered. We're that early, and anything you can build in the real world at this point is pretty unique, actually, because a lot of companies and enterprises, they know about blockchain, and they have their I mean, like they have teams working on it, but there's like this huge gap of knowledge that needs to be solved, because like it's crazy if you talk like, and I do sometimes talk to really big companies about blockchain, and I honestly, I have to explain them on a very basic level what a blockchain actually is. And I mean, if you go out on the street and you ask like a random person, do you know what a blockchain is? Like the best answer you can get is probably something like, yeah, it has something to do with Bitcoin, right? Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
and often they say blockchain. What is even a blockchain? And I mean, we're in the blockchain space, so we know quite a bit about blockchain, but we know so much more than like people working even at boardroom level of real world big enterprises. They don't know what blockchain is, and that's well, it's good because we can educate about blockchain,
Yeah.
but it's also yeah, it's also a bit of a challenge.
And that's a testament, like you said, to how early we are still, even though we are at the in the midst of a bull run, we are still early because not many people know the actual in-depth story about blockchain and how it helps literally every industry that's out there.
Well, actually, I think if you look at I mean, if you look at the market, purely crypto, I think actually a lot of people don't have a clue that there is a bull run coming. So while everybody in the blockchain space, in the crypto space, is like, okay, when will it end? I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, people haven't found out about it.
The show goes
In
on.
my humble opinion.
Like internet, when it first came into the mainstream, was it like this back in 1990s? Was it hard for people to understand the concept of internet as well, just similar to how it's with blockchain at the moment?
It's the same, but very different. What I mean is that yes, the space feels like a bit like the early days of internet. But if I mean, if you look at the impact e-commerce had on like the rise of people selling and buying online in the last what is it, 25 years, I think if we could fast forward like 50 years, I think e-commerce was only the beginning, and the impact of blockchain technology on will be huge on a lot of industries, and especially like if you look at the combination blockchain and artificial intelligence. I mean, those two, that will really change the way we work, live, and play in the next 25 years. I'm pretty sure about that. I mean, I think in the near future, and I'm talking about like 5-10 years, a lot of things that are not done on blockchain today will be done on blockchain then. So that will have a huge impact. And also in terms of governance, I think blockchain is very interesting because the power of blockchain is that it gives back in a way the power to the people by eliminating middlemen that basically don't contribute to a process other than taking a cut. Yep. Which, of course, well, that's what doing business is about. But a lot of parties are taking cuts where they shouldn't be doing that, in my humble opinion. Of course.
Yep. Yeah, especially
they don't add value. They don't add value at all.
Yeah, especially in finance sector and many other sectors.
Many other sectors as well. Yeah. And also, I mean, blockchain is a great technology to reduce cost, which is something every company would love to do. And also, in terms of transparency, I think blockchain is actually will probably contribute a lot because I mean, if you're like a big brand and you want to show the world that your supply chain is like there's nothing wrong with your supply chain, like child labor or like stuff like that. It's very easy today to say, okay, we solved it, and but with blockchain you can actually show that your supply chain is free of things that companies shouldn't be doing, and that's I mean, ultimately I build brands. That's my profession, and one of the things I always what is tricky about a brand is if you don't deliver on your brand promise, I mean, building a brand is something that takes years, most of the times. But when something happens to your brand and your image get damaged, your brand can be gone in like weeks or days even. And so also from a brand perspective, I think that making your brand, your company more transparent will be very beneficial to a lot of companies. I mean, you can promise whatever you want, but if you're cheating and you're actually not walking the talk, people will find out about it.
Yeah. You talked about this before about giving power to the people. So one of the ways Zilliqa holders get this is through the gZil token. How important is gZil to the community and the ecosystem?
Well, but basically, ZWAP and gZil are governance tokens. So holding a token like that offers you the possibility to vote on proposals within the ecosystem. And of course, I mean, if you look at gZil, Zilliqa aimed to be like a truly decentralized blockchain, public, but also decentralized right from the start. And also, this is something that doesn't happen overnight. If you look at Silica today, you can objectively say that it's more decentralized than it ever was before because of gZil, and also because of the network. It makes use of guard nodes, which are run by Silica. But the number of guard nodes came down significantly last years. So it clearly shows that what Zilliqa is aiming for is actually turning into a reality, which is a decentralized blockchain. So I think that gZil and ZWAP within the Zilswap ecosystem are really important. Yeah, because they actually show that that Zilliqa is serious about decentralization, which is something they said all along, but now they can actually show it.
Before we wrap up, I just want to hear your thoughts about the current bull market, and we're still early, we're still in Q2. So what are your thoughts on the current bull market and where we're headed?
I think it's very difficult to see where this cycle is going, but I've felt for a long time that this bull cycle will be very different from 2017, for the simple fact that blockchain and crypto have evolved since, and also because, well, every bull cycle tends to be bigger than the last time. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, it was $20K, I think, by the end of 2017, and look where we are today, and we're not done yet. So I could, it's going to be pretty wild.
Well done.
For
Where can people find you, connect with you, contribute to the Zilliqa community?
as most Zillicans know, I'm pretty
Zillionaires.
much online 24/7. So you can find me on Telegram, on Twitter, at Woelgeest. It's Dutch, but you'll find me.
Yeah, it's easy to
And you
find.
can always, yeah, you can. I mean, I connect a lot of with a lot of people on LinkedIn as well, which obviously is more like a business medium. But if you're into Zilliqa, you can always contact me.
Thank you, Mark, for all your work you've done with Zilliqa and the active work you contribute to as a community. And thank you so much for being on the show today.
It was a pleasure, Ash.